Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iagino. Sorry for the glare on my head up here. Still working on the new lighting, though, so please don't dislike the channel because of the glare on my head. By the way, if you're new here and you do trade Tesla, please do consider subscribing, ringing the bell, and hitting the like button. Also, by the way, for the regular viewers of Market Overview, who I know some of the people tune into this one. Also, if you want to hear more from Bob Iacchino, please tune into Market Overview tomorrow, 3:30 Central Time. Bob will be on with me live, and I think we've got some good feedback from the last couple. So consider that if you want to hear more from Bob and less from me. Wavy is here. Tesla, Tesla, Tesla. Total sleeper mode today. Good day sailing. You're slowly turning this into a TV broadcast. Is that a good or a bad thing, Wavy? Let me know. I need some help with the graphics. I need to be in front of the camera and have somebody else run all the graphics for me and everything else. I can't be expected to do this all myself. See, Jake says, Bobby. See, I'll be pushed aside. Soon enough, we'll catch Mike on Bloomberg Markets. We can't wait for that day to happen. That won't happen. I don't have that TV vibe, do I? I don't have that TV vibe. I'm just some crazy guy who, look, Bluesville tie-dye. Joe Bonamassa, Bluesville. Hope there's some Joe Bonamassa fans out there. Love me some Joe Bonamassa when I'm not listening to Dead. Let's see. Let's see what else. Hey, Dan Jett. You're putting yourself out in the spotlight and many love it. Well, I'm just trying to help people, and if I'm in the spotlight, then it's shining off my head, as you see. I'll have to powder up. I'll have to start getting the wardrobe department to powder my head with some baby powder or talcum powder every morning to get the glare from shining through. I'll have to get some makeup on. Oh, geez, that would be horrible. Oh, I have the voice. Well, thank you, Sailing. You're crazy about technical. That's why they never have me on. They'd ask me a question. I'd be like, did you see that 200-day simple moving average? Did you see how we bounced off of that? And people would be like, the best kind of crazy. Well, thank you. And by the way, if you're tuning in because of the thumbnail, should you worry? Tesla was down, NASDAQ up big? No. What this did is give us a great little line in the sand. Did you see that transition there? Using the crazy thing, using the thumbnail. Oh, I am ripe for TV. Get me on TV. Okay, this is actually really good from my perspective. Again, we had the buy signals on Friday. You had to chase it a bit yesterday to get long. Said also to watch that little double on the 15-minute coming down, hitting essentially the first and second targets. Just wanted to leave that on. And I also said watch the 1 hour rotation zone. So we dipped in and closed back above. That's the kind of stuff you're watching for if you're looking for something to possibly get long on. You still have the 1 hour rotation zone in your favor, and this gives a really nice stop area for me. Why? Because remember, two kinds of corrections. I know long-term people have heard this. I have to keep saying it because people have to be reminded of it. Two types of corrections. A pullback or a sideways. Everyone who's watching, what is this? This is a textbook sideways correction. Remember, rip roaring, look at this overbought condition. And it's cut it. We were back to about 50% on the RSI. It bounced a little there, but this cuts off the overbought condition on your 1 hour. And Jake got it. Sideways. So this is the kind of thing. Sideways move. And, don't go, well, oh, I know I'll get the comment. I know somebody's going to contact me and say, well, look at this pullback. Look at this. Put it in context. Look at this. 4 hour. Look at your bigger time frames. Look at this. Inside bar. Slight little down bar. I just roughly say that's a doji in a horizontal correction. Now, this is where context matters, okay? These are consolidation bars. See these bars? Now, ignore the candle body color. Let me go over a little teaching lesson here, as long as people want to hear it. If not, then I'm still watching for more upside price action. Keep your stop below this low from yesterday if you're aggressively long, and you can tune out now. Now, for the people who want to learn something, this is different than this. And don't go off, well, one's a red, one's a green. They're both essentially doji candles to me, okay? Why is this different? Because this was at the potential end of a down move. We got some buy patterns in that 1 hour. But this, you see, down move, and then this is a potential bottoming reversal pattern. This is not, when I get asked about candlesticks, the location matters. So these, what we went after, this is not necessarily a topping pattern to me. Yes, we've had a little run up, but we're moving sideways, okay? This was more of a bounce, and then we got the follow through move. So I am watching now, since we have this overbought condition on the 1 hour especially, and then we're moving sideways, and all this, and boy, in the course, and I know people ask me when the course is coming out, I am working on it. It takes a lot of time, especially when I'm very busy during the day. And I don't just throw something out there that's haphazard. But this is a concept I call candlestick math. It's actually a great little concept, and I know some people have seen it from stuff I've done before. But you start adding up these candles, it actually starts adding into this, and then you add up all those candles. All it was a little pausing doji. Now, why do I say this is different? A, it's a sideways move. Now, how would we get to a reversal? You'd break below this low. So that's why at least a partial stop. So let's say you're long down here. That's where part of a trailing stop, if you hadn't taken profits already, you know, it rolls over. You start getting weakness in the morning. You get a close, especially like in the first hour below this level on a 1 hour basis. And the NASDAQ is weak. As long as the NASDAQ's weak and going down, that could be a great place to lock in some profits and then at least keep the rest of your stop break even or better. Pausing bars after a little run up. Okay. Now we break to the upside and then you get the continuation. Where does this favor? Well, the 1 hour rotation zone is moving up. Why also is this key low? It's the 25% harmonic from this pullback, which is a major support point. And that would be below the 1 hour rotation zone, which came out of overbought. That's why it starts rolling over. I'd take something off the table, but it gives you a great line in the sand. So this doesn't bother me at all. Where are our probabilities? Well, daily, we're into the daily rotation zone. We're not yet overbought, so we could easily still see higher prices. Weekly is still neutral. 4 hour, we're pausing at the top. Also, another reason, and especially when we get up to, I like to take some profits off into strength personally. So this is where I would have taken some profits on this move. If you didn't, then my next teaching lesson would be to put a stop here. You have it just below that 25%. And therefore, if it breaks out the upside, and then we want to test the other side of the daily, especially if we still continue to some strong NASDAQ, we see a lot of money pouring into some of these high flyer stocks. Now, Tesla was up roughly 10% yesterday. So am I surprised to see a pause? No, I'm not. However, if you start rolling over and the NASDAQ's rolling over in the morning, that's where I consider lightening up. Why? Because it's against the other side of the 4 hour rotation zone, and we're still in a downward sloping daily. So err on the side of caution when the longer term is still slightly against you. However, this is where I wait to get, if I didn't already take profits at that 4 hour peak, this is where I would now wait for it to roll over and prove that it wants to be weaker than just this pausing bar. Because then this could be not just a pausing bar, a slight topping bar. because then you have more context into the move. And where would I, worst case, line in the sand, again, put on your retracement harmonics, you have 62.5% right here. That should be your worst case stop. Worst case. Why? If you get a close below that, I'd be watching for a retest of the lows. A stop in front of that, I'd be definitely watching the 50% level. If you don't want to risk that much, then, and you don't care about that 25%, which is where a really solid stop would be, then I'd watch the 900 mark for a key close. And the key close, I'm not talking about 5-minute close unless you have major momentum bars to the downside. But I'm talking if it's just dribbling down, it'd have to be a 1-hour close below 900 if it couldn't sustain that point, because that will be where a lot of people are resting orders. Okay, but it does not hurt to take something off into a move when you're against the rotation zones and getting your stop at worst case to break even, or at some of the other stop levels I talked about. Now, should we break above, especially with a strong NASDAQ, should we break above this 943 high? Harmonics now are 960-266. Also, we still have some major pausing areas. You don't get into a clear path until up here, but then your next, I just used a harmonic of about 1011. Do not ignore 1000, at least for a first move, and especially since at 995 you have the 50 period, but above there you have 1011, then 1036. Okay, let's just look this other way also, then I'll look at questions. For a really continued rally to keep going in this, I'd need a close above 1050. So that's my key line in the sand. And also look at where the 50% is at 1,000. So even that 1,000 area with that 50 period exponential, with the 50% retracement of this whole down move, and I think long-term people have noticed how significant that 50% level is, at least for a reactionary move. Again, that's been the area that I would definitely move up a stop again. So that's where we sit. Still in short-term bullish mode, but getting a slight bit more cautionary with a continued up move. We are not in overbought on the 4-hour. This actually helped level it out here. And not overbought on the daily, so we do have more upside room. The only reason I'm cautious is we still are against a rotation zone and against this declining trend line. So at any point up here, we could roll over why it's great to trail a stop. There we go. You have my synopsis. Let's see. I'm not seeing any more comments, so I must have been that good, or I bored everybody to death and everybody left. Either way, we have our marching orders for tomorrow. In summary, today's low is key and today's high is key on a pausing bar in this recovery rally. Above today's high, really focus on the other side of the daily rotation zone. Below today's low, my advice would be to lighten up of some of the position and know where your stop is on the rest, especially in a weaker market. And you are welcome, Wavy. Just a slow day for Tesla, but I love these slow days because it gives this is great for stop placement. This is a fantastic day for stop placement. This makes it easy. This makes it easy. Not much on my end to trade off of. Some days you just sit on your hands and manage stops. I love today. Hopefully tomorrow is better. This is just you take each day. Each day, is good, depending on what it is. Place to enter a new position. Look, you start getting some strength in the morning with a strong NASDAQ. Regressive would be above this little base here. And then I'd be, watching for it to break above the highs. And then I'd just start trailing a stop on a breakout play. That would be an aggressive long play tomorrow. Longer term than that, there's not been enough pullback. There is a super aggressive buy on the first 1 hour close above about 933.25, but that's essentially the breakout play. I just do the breakout play. And a 4 hour, there's nothing. We don't have enough of a pullback yet. We're against here. And see, why do the breakout play for tomorrow? If you needed something to get in on a move, you're then above the 4 hour. You're above this horizontal little channel. And if you get a strong NASDAQ and this is breaking, you then get to play against the daily rotation zone. So there's my play for tomorrow if you were looking for something. Educational purposes only. You know I have to say that because people say, oh, you told me to take a trade. No, I'm not telling anybody to take a trade. I cannot do that. I've let my licenses expire. And nor would I want to. You have to learn to trade for yourself. But that's also a great play. Why? Where's your stop? Stop's right here. And the funny thing is, if it broke above here, you'd actually have it broke above here, got a key close above here, especially on a 1 hour or even 15-minute basis, and then strongly reversed and got below these candle bodies, it would be a potential shake and bake play. And I'd definitely be watching for more downside then. So you have a great stop level. So does that answer your question, Sailing? That's how I would look to play it if you needed to get long tomorrow. You are very welcome, Genomic Stock. Going to be another snowstorm rolling through Toronto. Time to prepare. Yeah, we're going to get hit tomorrow and Thursday. So we'll see how bad it is. Who let the dogs out? That's my wife taking them out for a walk. Did you hear them barking before? I got 5 dogs, Danny. 5 rescue dogs. So that's what you hear. 5 rescue pups. Are you pushing snow all the way to Dallas? We have snow forecast for Thursday. I used to live in Dallas, Genomic Stock. I used to live in Prosper, Texas, just north of Dallas. Had a nice place, beautiful place in Prosper. Had to move back to Chicago, unfortunately. So no, I don't want snow to go to Dallas. My sister lives in Dallas, by the way, with her 4 kids and husband in University Park. Risk reward poor. On what? On the breakout play? No, not at all. Why would it be poor? No, because I'd say it's actually, you can easily get to the other side of this Dale. You can easily probably get 1-to-1 if you can get in, and if we don't have a gap higher. Now, if we had a gap higher, I'd have to then try to do it on a pullback. But if it opens flat to slightly down, I think you could get proper reward to risk. Yeah, NASDAQ's very strong after hours. We saw Google up very big. So I'm going to just watch to see if that follows through in the European session and then the open tomorrow. I'm in Flower Mound. Yes, Prosper. If you've been to Prosper, I used to live real close to that big estate where I forgot what's his name. We used to play for the Cowboys. He has that big estate in Prosper. I used to just live like 2 minutes from that. They must be. I assume you said rich. They built a 7,500 square foot house there in University. They did a tear down and built a 7,500 square foot house. That should tell you something. 1 hour. You see PayPal getting murdered. Yeah, we talked about that in Ken. We talked about that in market overview. You might want to review that. Yeah, I think sailing. All right. Yes. Yeah. PayPal's getting murdered. All right, that's about it. So that's the play tomorrow for the upside and the stop level for the downside. I think we have everybody covered. Again, I'm still in for the continued potential move up on a bounce play, but I am not hyper aggressive. Let me take that off too. I am not hyper aggressive. The aggressive was down here. Here is more just trying to squeeze a little more out of a continued move higher should the NASDAQ continue in its full-blown bull mode that's started after hours. Again, let's just peek at that. Yep, and here it's going to start up in 5 minutes, but I'm expecting it to be because of you have Google. Google is, look, here's your Google. Now this is going to have, look at that. Now that's a gap up to the most recent highs. So I mean, they announced a stock split too. So as this is where I'm going to be really focused. I am going to look at Google pre-market tomorrow also to see if this is sustaining or if it starts dropping pre-market, because that will sort of give me a gauge of the way we could open in the Nasdaq, and then how we could then translate into trading some of these high PE growth flyers. With that, you're welcome sailing. With that, I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.